Burgess here with Music Marketing TV. Today we are looking at Bob Clearmountain's domain. It's by Apogee, but Bob Clearmountain, had a direct influence on this. He's a great mixing engineer, very famous one. If you've never heard of him, you should look him up, and you've probably heard a track or two that he's mixed. I'd be willing to put money down on that. So Clearmountain's domain is a delay reverb plugin. And I've got here a bell sound. And let's bypass it real quick. This bell sounds synthetic. It lacks space. So you can see, and things start going and the track begins to go. But it starts off like this. And I'd like to, thicken this up a little bit. Make it a little bit more in the moment than it is right now. Right now it's like a weird flavor in your ice cream. It just sticks out in a weird way. So the first thing we're going to do is if we turn this on, we get a delay. Now this delay already for me is too long. So let's go over to the tabs here, and you can move around the plugin on the side here, or you can click the tabs. So I'm going to go to the delay tab first. And right now we're at quarter notes, and both the left and the right are the same. I am going to bring the left to be a lot shorter, and I'm going to bring the spin up. So the spin is another word for feedback. And if I bring this up, you'll actually see they come up differently. They're linked. That's because we have linked spin right here. This is to make it so that they fade out at the same time. So I can have a longer delay here and a shorter one here, but this will have, more feedback. So it'll last longer so that they last about the same. As you can see. So maybe I bring this back, we sort of balance it out a bit, and you see they get closer to each other. Like so. And I'm also going to introduce an offset between them. Now these offsets are also linked to move in opposite directions so that you get a big difference between left and right. You can of course turn this off by just checking link offset. It's kind of nice. Now I'm going to bring it forward just a smidge more. And now I'm going to go over to the mixer, and I'm going to bring down the delay just a smidge. Maybe a little bit more than a smidge. Something else I want to do with this delay is on the delay, we have a delay input EQ. I'm going to tick this on. This is on the first page, the input page. And I'm just going to shave off some of this high stuff. More. Yeah, I like that. So we're pretty much set there. There is a couple other cool things you can do here. So they have this delay blur, which essentially as the delay goes on, it gets blurred out. They're not totally clear on what it does. They call it a magical diffuse effect. It's easy to understand though when you hear what it does. If I drive it all the way up, it's quite aggressive. So if I go ahead and bring this back, produces a magical effect. Oh, you can even see on their tooltip here. Sound something diffuse and magical. I love it. So let's go ahead and bring it back some. And all right, so there's our delay pretty much set up. Now this is a pure delay. If we come over to the pitch reverb, we've got our reverbs here in our delay now this delay is a totally separate chain. So if you look at our mixer, we've got a delay, but we've also got a pitch delay. That's where this comes in. So here, I'm going to set these to random. And what random does is it picks random values between plus or minus whatever you set here. So if I bring this up, we get random values of plus or minus 6 cents, which is fine. I'll make the other one slightly bigger because why not? The two will be more different now. So a little bit more stereo. And I'm pretty much going to leave it there. It can produce really, really nice doubling effects, chorusy type stuff coming out of here. Okay, now we turn our attention over to the Reverb Sends. So you can see in the mixer, we've got 3 channels for reverbs. We've got the Apogee Studio Reverb, and that is related to this direct one up here. So here's our Apogee Studio. The direct is the unpitched / delayed stuff. So it will come into the studio reverb. If we bring this up, I'm going to leave this one alone. I have no intention of using this. I'm just showing you, kind of what it can sound like. Here it is with our delay pitch shift. -8 might be a bit much. We've also got the chambers. Which are quite nice. And then at the end here, this is the one I'm going to use. We've got some different options here. I'm going to go with concrete stairwell. I'm going to bring up the direct. You know what would be kind of fun? Let's bring these all up a little bit and we'll just use the mixer tab and sort of see if we can come up with a cool mix as opposed to just using one. And then over time, you know what we could do? I already had it selected. Oh, bummers. Okay. Let's go ahead and automate these on over time. In fact, let's have something like a peak here in the center. We'll start out lower and then we'll get softer. That's totally fine. I should have made that a detached window so that I don't have to do this. Let's do that now. Let's move this one next. I have a shortcut key for this. And sometimes I have to click off of the plugin because the plugin window takes the keyboard focus. So see, if we click off of it and over here, there we go. And let's make this a bit bigger. This last one we'll have come up. We'll have it start like way low. And then it'll be sort of the dominant reverb sound at the end. And then right there at the very end, I'm probably not going to play through it again, but I'm going to go ahead and add this onto it. And I just want the mix to sort of just ramp up all the way there at the end. Maybe not totally exponentially like that. Maybe like a 2-step curve kind of deal. Yeah, that's a really nice effect. Now, there is a couple cool things that I at least want to mention about the plugin. So there's our effect. I mean, it's really fast to work with. Gives you access to 3 verbs simultaneously, a chorus, and a bunch of delay options, along with some really convenient ways of adding variation between the 2 channels, and a magic delay blur, EQs aplenty. But there's a couple other cool ones I want to really quick talk about. There's a spin crossfeed, which will actually change the signal chain here. Which could be real nice. So you might consider experimenting with this. Versus this. I didn't make a vast use of this. It wasn't something that was on my radar for this particular sound. And then over on the main page, these are just sort of nice to knows. I love any plugin that you can shrink to an absurdly small or large screen. It makes dealing with resolutions easy. And also, if you just have a hard time seeing, that's really nice. And I just love that you can make it small. It seems like, look at that. It's so tiny. You can have like a bunch of these on the screen. They also have a visualizer, and most plugins do, but they kind of went a step above here. And if you go over to the cog, you can change a bunch of settings about this visualizer. If you so desire, you can make it persistent for a long time. So if you want to get some sort of a movie out of this, you practically can. And there's even this isn't like true full screen, but like, come on. Most plugins don't go this far with their visualizer. You can turn off all the stuff, so you just get the visualizer, which is real nice. If we, like, that's pretty. That is so nice. Now, there is one more thing I want to show you, and that's the randomize feature, but I'm going to do this on a separate one so that I don't mess up the setting I just did. So we're going to go over to Clearmountain domain, another one. See, it loads real fast, so I'm a big fan of that. This randomize feature is quite the troublemaker when you have something specific. So in this case, I kind of had a goal on where I wanted to go, so this would be a bad idea. But if you're doing a bunch of sound design, you want some crazy results, or maybe you're doing some atmospheres with some long pads or something, this thing can produce some really cool results. Be aware that it does mess with the feedback. And because of that, you can get these really, really abusively long textures. I'm going to turn the first one off here. And so just be aware of that. But if you just go ahead and vary it up, doesn't look like anything has changed, but things are on now that weren't before, and they've been moved around, is what it sounds like. Yeah, let's go ahead and vary that. Stop. Okay, yeah, so there you go. You can get some really, really crazy results out of this. Like, just look at that. It's almost become a living thing. Let's go ahead and bring the volume down on this channel. To like behave yourself plugin, and let's do a few more. So there's one option. Let's do another. Sort of a demonic kind of vibe there, or just sort of cacophonous. So you can kind of see why I said what I said. Great for atmosphere, sound design. You can sort of just have it randomly choose these different atmospheres, but not something you're going to want to touch if you have any kind of idea of what you're going for already. But it is a very fun button, sort of a YOLO button, so to speak. And that is pretty much it. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. Subscribe and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.